You know what you're getting out of that hero. Gonna be a very sort of steady hand in Panda playing that hero for the second game in a row. So not too much out of the ordinary on that front, which, well, as we were sort of mentioning in our chat with Panda the other day, they really don't want to get too crazy, right? Don't want to go out and pull something out of left field like that Chen pick that didn't really go for them. They're going to keep it tried and true, and the results sort of speak for themselves to this point. They are absolutely on fire as Lava gonna go in for the Monkey King at this point, and ET, there is maybe still a little bit of flexibility with the position of that Monkey King. Do they entertain the idea of the position 4, or should that just be the carry 4? Never mind. Question time is over. The Wraith King comes out, and there will be no carry monkey today.
Yeah, and well, I'm thinking about it. I'm really wondering. I think this does mean that this is just going to be a 5 Mars. It is going to fall into the hands of Catyu because now it has to be a 4 Monkey King, and I think for them to find balance in their lanes, and they're not really going to find that true balance because well, they've got a double melee safe lane, meaning that well now Sacred's going to have a pretty darn free time because well everybody else is going to be fighting in the creep wave while he gets to sit back and just right click everyone. But I think that's where now you're a little bit hard pressed for Frank's hero. I still think they can go for the Sand King. I think that's probably the wisest choice just because you do need another hero to go in, and that's exactly what the Wraith King is very capable of. He can go in, and I think they're playing off of Thunder Awaken's ban a little bit here on the Jakiro because, well, Wraith King is pretty good whenever that hero is taken out just because you never have to worry about getting stunned immediately after you respawn, but I'm just worried now if they really want to on Thunder Awaken, they could just pick up an illusion carry. They could really say, okay, we're going to now flood your Wraith King, say you don't have enough damage on lava, and then look to take this game much, much later, where the game could get a little bit hairy, I think, once those illusions are on board. Because also has a treasure trove of heroes. The PL's taken out, but they want to go for the CK. Or actually,
Oh
okay, they could
boy.
also do this. They just get the Timber Saw. They switch the draft on you entirely. I mean, hey, that's gonna work too.
Yeah, so if that Timber takes presumably the offlane position, you swing the snap to the 4, and now your Ember does not go into Matthew's hands, but Dark Mago Ember, excuse me, Ember is going to be potentially terrifying as well. It does mean that I believe we're going to see the Ember versus Puck matchup, with which maybe Dark Mago's not going to have the most fun with, but it's still a lane where he should be able to find his farm, make good plays. We'll see what rotations he makes at 6 once he has those remnants online.
Yeah, and we'll see if Dark Mago is a little bit of a Gunner fan here, because last time we saw Ember versus Puck, Gunner got the Orchid, and then the Puck cried and died many times in that game. But I think that's where it is not a untenable matchup. It's something that Dark Mago just kind of has to deal with, especially once that close online. Then he is under threat, and a threat that is going to be coming very fast because both the Mars and the Monkey King, they're going to want to show up to every rune. They're going to be showing up to every fight. And that's where both mid laners this time around, at least they're going to be fighting for those runes. It's not going to be, hopefully, as much of a farm fest as game 1 was, but I also am just so surprised that this Timbersaw gets picked up in such a nice position this late on in the draft. Because I really feel like Thunder Awaken, they yet again, in many of their drafts, even though the bans have been changing just depending on the series, they just always get heroes that feel like they're heroes. And okay,
Okay.
the Oracle, that's a cool pick. That's pretty nifty. I do think this now means that we are just going to see the Mars off lane and then the Monkey 4. Well, actually,
Right.
no. Things are weird now on Lava, actually. Because I guess this is now going to be, it's going to be Wraith King with the Oracle, trying to get just a little bit better of a lane, I think, versus, but it's not even an Ember 4, so it's like, I don't know. This is a risky pick to go for. And that's a really fast, tiny pick.
Oh boy. You know, considering this is a team that has lost 3 games total in this event, you start to wonder how they're allowed to get some of these drafts. I mean, let's not sort of consign Lava to that lower bracket just yet. They could still pull this off, but you get Timber with your 4th pick and Tiny with your 5th. What other team has been able to sort of get that many impact heroes that late on in their draft?
Yeah, I'm kind of just sitting here in disbelief. I'm really just kind of amazed, and I think that's where Thunder Awaken, they did do a very good job of, I think, selectively banning out what Catyu has wanted to play in the past, but in keeping that broken hero pool so wide, your opponents can only take so many, and I'm just very surprised that the answer at the end of the day for Lava was to take none of them, because this is a very nice position to be in if you're Thunder Awakened. I think Lava need to run away with the lanes. Leo Style is on one of his best heroes, get very active early on with the puck. You have two cores that are going to want to get active. You've got the Arena, you've got the Dream Coil, you have the two best level 6 spells probably in the game here, but they just really need to run away with those spells and then hope that Thunder Awaken, they don't have the hoods, they don't have the farm, they don't have the items to deal with you, because if they do, well, now they've got a very favorable late game. I think that this game goes past 35 minutes, and albeit not a lot of games in this tournament have gotten past 35 minutes, Thunder Awaken should just be head and shoulders better than you. Their draft is just insanely hard to beat once you get those items built up, especially on the Tiny.
Yeah, and Lava already down 0-1 in this series. You know, you were kind of looking maybe for a layup, looking to get yourself an advantage in the draft, and then sort of just execute your game plan, which certainly can still happen. It's just, I don't know, it feels like it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle here for them, especially as you said, if this goes late and then we start asking questions about the Puck and the Mars and how much they'll scale and how relevant they can stay into the late game stages.
Yeah, and hey, if there is that upset possibility, well, Lava need to break it out right now. They need to beat their opponents, because, like you said, Hikori, you're gone. The Apex Predator is here to stay. There's no natural enemy here for Thunder Awaken, and it's where you do wonder if this is going to be enough from Lava. I still am just awestruck at how many heroes Thunder Awaken have been able to get, that they just have these crazy win streaks on, these crazy KDAs with. I think it's going to need to be something exceptional from Lava that beats this game, and I think that all stems from Leo Style. This is going to be a nice pick onto Matthew, but...
Oh, hold on. Jumps into the river.
Really making him work.
Great Fire Blast is there. Yeah, they should still get this, but Matthew is going to really sort of run him across the river. Who will get it? There we go. Frank gets in with the rebuke to finish the job. So it is still first blood. Fantastic play from Lava, and this is what they really need. I mean, this kill is not going to massively dictate the pace, but just try and establish something early on. Even if it's just sort of one kill and some confidence, that is what they're going to need to try and take advantage of their opponents early on. And, well, will there be another fight? They're thinking about it. Boundless Strike comes out, honestly, kind of early. Now he won't have it to protect the rune spawn. But you do have Leo Style coming over. They are going to look for this engagement. Kataro's even moving his way in. He did scale the Wraithfire there, so yeah, Palace is in some serious trouble. They're just going to take him down. Yeah. Okay. 2 kills on the board. That cookie is in the wrong direction. Not going to be able to get the stun, and... oh, I said, you know, 1 kill and some confidence is going to go well. How much confidence does 2 kills give you before the horn?
Yeah, it's one great way to start off the game. I think Leo Style got the second one. Isn't the most gold in his pocket, but does just mean he's going to get that Bono just a little bit sooner. So I think now it's up to him to just heavily play up on Dark Mago. Fortunately for the Puck versus Ember, you do need level 2. You can't break that level 1 shield. Just not in the number game for you, and that's why Dark Mago aggressively pushes in the wave as such, just because he is trying to find those easy trades. But at the same time, we shouldn't see a solo kill happen here. We're going to need to wait till level 6, and then things are really going to start to heat up, especially for Leo Style.
Yeah, both of these heroes are not the greatest at securing those early kills pre-level 6, so just a waiting game, just a farming matchup between the two of them. Meanwhile, take a look up top. Kim already going to work trying to steal the wave, but Panda is really right on his tail here and has a pretty decent amount of mana as well. Hold up. What?
Oh, no.
What the heck? That... they just lost aggro a little bit too far away. That is very rare to see once you have the wave that far in. Kim just sort of loses it for a second, and now Panda's the one pulling that creep aggro.
Yeah, and honestly, this circumstance doesn't really happen all too often, and well, because it's just going to be gifted his creep wave back, but at the very least, I suppose you didn't lose all too much XP. Frank's really the one that lost the most XP there, because Kim got that entire wave just eaten under his tower, but none of the farm from it, so Pakaz is going to feel relatively untouched. He just gets to be like, oh, hey, the creep wave's back. Nice.
It's like, oh, it was gone, I guess, but it's back now. Kaz doesn't really care. As long as the creeps are here to farm them, he will farm them. So, solid play from Panda there, and maybe a slight misstep from Kim, but it's not going to be really that big of a deal here early on. This duo of sort of Mars and Monkey King, I mean, they certainly can look for kills, but it's going to have to come a little bit later, because right now, sure, they can sort of combo up stuns, but you're laning against Tiny and Ogre. You need the further levels to actually have the nuke damage to break through either of them.
Yeah, and that's also where they need to detach the Tiny from his tower, because he just has that tower protection. He just gets to sit around. Isn't really too cautious right now, because he doesn't really need to be. And that's also where, once the wave gets a little bit further up, we could certainly see an attempt, but it's always going to feel like pulling teeth.
Meanwhile, checking out on the situation down bot, this is kind of honestly what we expected. Sacred on the Timber, got multiple points up in the reactive. He is just in the wave, soaking up everything he can, while his teammate is just free to maneuver. You see Matthew not even really caring about the lane. He is getting in the jungle, might just look to stack up some camps, steal a bounty rune or two. Maybe even rotate mid under the right circumstances, because if your Puck decides to just sort of maybe pop some of those abilities looking for damage onto your Ember, you're not going to be able to run away, as Matthew, now he's going to come back to the bottom lane. He and Sacred just want to bully up Catyu. Catyu, though, did have a nice bit of regen to work with. Is it going to be enough, though? No, one more hit from Matthew might do it, but they're not going to be able to get it. Kataro now thinking about going in. Wraithfire is going to connect. Matthew is here to protect Sacred, and Sacred himself is honestly just a little bit too tanky for them to go back in.
Yeah, and Sacred, I think, very cautious there. He knew that if he went onto the tower with the Whirling Death, probably would have gotten traded out by Kataro there, and he's not tanky enough to go for those dives just yet, but as we saw in the previous game, if you can get your play on that 5, you force him to salve himself. Both these heroes are very low, and they're kind of out of resources, and that's exactly the field that the Timbersaw wants to play in, because he has that inherent regen. He's just a little bit tankier than you, and, well, he's level 4. He's already making steadfast progress towards that level 6, and then, as we always see, everything changes. Then he's a menace.
Okay. There's the root into the Wraithfire. That cookie onto the creep doesn't really do a whole lot, as they will miss on that opportunity. Meanwhile, up top, Because getting pressured up a little bit here. Frank and Kim try to push it onto him, but again, they still don't quite have the levels. 2 points up in Rebuke is nice, but Because is able to get away on just a little bit of HP, and Panda was able to pass him a Tango. Unfortunately, there's no salve here from the Ogre, although as I say that, the Courier just delivered one, so should be able to heal his teammate up if Because gets into trouble again. Or, yeah, he can just do it now. Why not? Get the Tiny up to just about max as quickly as possible. Just take away that threat, but down in the bottom lane, well, there is that play. They were looking for it for so long. The cookie in onto Catyu, and Kataro really didn't have anything left to do. This is always the downside of this lane for the Wraith King. You are very intimidating in your own right, but you can throw out one Wraithfire Blast, and then that's really all the support that you can give to your teammate.
Yeah, and Kataro isn't going for the raw farming build. He does pick up a phase boot, saying that maybe I can look for a kill onto the Snapfire if the opportunity presents, but it's also where Matthew's just been very cautious, and he also, of course, hasn't spent a lot of time in the lane because he has been giving that solo XP over to Sacred, so there hasn't been that just straight up easy kill play, because certainly at this point, killing Sacred is almost a pipe dream. You're gonna need the Puck to rotate, and that's where if your rotation ends up not panning out, well, you've got just as nice a play to make top, and I think that's where Lava are eventually going to be the ones to choose, but actually coil mid to try and fight for the rune, but Matthew's the one to claim it.
Yeah, that's a nice attempt from the Puck, but I think if Leo Style really knew beforehand that Matthew was getting in there, maybe he doesn't try for it, but now you've got a bit of an awkward spot. Your Dream Coil gets used for the rune that you do not get. It's now on cooldown, whereas Dark Mago, well, he hits level 6 and might look to make plays elsewhere on the map. As, speaking of elsewhere on the map, what's going on here? Kaz and Panda pushing on to Frank, but they're a little bit lacking in the damage department right now, and with Kim arriving, I don't really think this is a fight that they want to continue anymore. They don't have any mana to really keep it going, and you see Frank waiting in the wings, looking to see if they overextend. He's got that spear coming back up, but doesn't look like Thunder Awaken are going to go that far.
No, they just kind of get to walk away, and at the very least, Frank gets this wave coming into him, so he should be able to secure level 6, and I love that they're rotating in bottom, but that's the kill into Matthew, but it's also the trade out for Sacred, but Have to be very careful here. I think Sacred is out of mana, though. He is going to just have to walk the tree plays back, but he also knows that he's unkillable in the wave.
Yeah, not a lot to be done there. And now, guess what? Kim's out of the top lane. Thousand Panda will make their move. They go in onto Frank all by himself, and well, this time around they weren't lacking that damage. They managed to get the kill, tying it up at 3-3. And what is Cat U doing here? Just looking for the bottle refill. Yeah, maybe he can get the Fortune's End out, and your Ember is pretty low. Kim's coming in as well. Boundless is ready, so they just need that little bit of lockdown, but they'll miss with the Boundless Strike. Now they're turning around. Mischief cannot dodge the Cookie Stun. Dark Mago really does need to back out. Very little HP and mana left to work with, but that is a rough go for Lava. They bring both the supports over, and they don't get the kill, and now that's your Dream Coil on cooldown again. 0 for 2 now for Leo Style on those swings.
Yeah, and
hold up.
Ooh, he's certainly doing a lot of damage still, but
It's living life on the edge, maybe a little bit too much for Dark Magos. He does very nearly get punished. That just would have been some sort of strange irony there to dodge that first attempt with 3 heroes and then kind of get casually picked off after, but he's going to be able to keep himself safe. TP's back, already dropped the Remnant, so should not be out of lane for long.
no, and that's where, well, at least Leo Style got the DD room there, and Monkey King did scout out the Tiny, so kind of forces the Tiny back all the way to the base, and again, with this Oracle still in mid, Dark Mago is eating a ton of damage, and it really is limiting the amount of plays he can make. We don't see really that aggressive movement that we typically have seen before from the Ember Spirit, just because his Oracle is just sitting there waiting to purge off his shield with the Fortune's End, and then hits him with the Purifying Flames, and this hero surely hurts. It does a lot of damage, but it's also where I wonder if Lava are happy with how the side lanes are going, because once this Timbersaw decides to come mid, I think you have a very real problem to deal with, and Sacred's about to claim his own tier 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we've seen so many times recently from the Timber, just the ability to completely take that lane away from your carry. As top lane, though, they are going to make a move on the Bakaz. That's a big arena to start things off. Leo Style comes in to try and help out, but there's going to be the Ava into the toss. Bakaz still trying to get away, but the Dream Coil is going to lock them down, so they will get the big kill. Sacred has to wait out that coil, so they're not able to chase onto Kim, but they are looking for Frank. Frank is just going to try and TP away, but Matthew has arrived. He is going to be able to provide that lockdown as Frank will fall. Kim holding on the tree. Thunder Awaken do not see him. Honestly, even with Frank's death there, you trade him out for the Tiny. That is going to be big for Lava. Just try and slow it down Bakaz's sort of early farming as much as you can.
Yeah, that is also where, what are you going to do to Sacred? He's almost going to have his hood coming out soon, and then, well, what really are we going to do with the Timbersaw? I think that's where the defense of the mid tower is going to be a big problem that they have to kind of solve here. Meanwhile, Catyu is running away. He is trying to escape here, and Dark Mago actually, without going for that Remnant, shouldn't be able to actually get this kill, and stole the haste rune from the Ember. That's your Catyu support really paying off.
That is definitely a win for your Oracle. So, just able to walk away. Links up with his teammates. They'll go for the smoke. Arena's 15 seconds out, though, so this has to be ever so slightly delayed. They could try it without the Arena, but at this point, I'm not really sure why you would want to. But okay, the Puck's going to pull the trigger. Going in with the Dream Coil. Can they actually keep him alive long enough? The Root comes in. The Silence and Stun are both there, and the Dark Mago does get taken down, so... well, if the Puck can initiate like that, then who needs the Arena? Now they get to hold it for a second fight. And Thunder Awaken, they need to bring heroes over here because they saw 4 mid. And they're thinking, our opponents sort of want to push onto our tier 1 tower. We can't afford to let that happen.
No, and that's where Sacred is going to be the stopper, and that's also where Kataru is very wisely going to the top lane. If they can start juking out this Timbersaw, the top tower matters a lot less for Thunder Awaken, but it's certainly a trade that they're always going to look for. And hey, even though the first 2 didn't look too good for this Puck, Leo Style is just throwing the Dream Play out every single time he gets the opportunity to. It's much more fun to watch than just seeing him hold it continuously. That is, however, there is a cost for using this ultimate. There is 20 seconds left on it, so it's not like he's not going to have it, but this does mean that, well, your mid tower is getting flooded right now, and as you did bring the Wraith from top to get the trade going there, it's where Thunder Awakened are just barely ahead of the exchange. They love to make another play into Dark Mago, though.
Oh, hold on. Catyu actually is going to be the one caught on the back line. He is forced to ult himself. And now I don't think the rest of Lava really want to fight, because Catyu is not going to be here to bail him out. He will just simply die once the False Promise ends. And they do actually have some eyes on Leostyle over to the side here, but he's got the invis rune now. This really, are you serious, Leostyle? That's just a little rude. Dropping
What?
the items and Panda nearly able to punish him for it. That would have been very. Oh, hold on.
Oh no.
Drops another sentry. He does have the stun. Leostyle now has to break the invis, but he should just be able to jump away from this. Matthew's close. Not quite that close, but while this weird chase was happening, Dark Mago was able to team up with Sacred for a kill onto Kim, but it looks like it's going to be a trade-off across the map as Panda will fall, and Matthew actually gets cleaned up as well at the end there by the Waning Rift. So Leostyle certainly had to work for that, but oh boy, now he's in trouble. There's the route to sort of counter it out, so never mind. Leostyle, nifty play, but he will be finished off, and that is going to even up the trade 2 for 2 overall, but if you're Thunder Awakened, you got the core kill, whereas you really only lost your 2 supports.
Yeah, and I mean, it's very free. You'll take the 2 supports. It's a lot of gold early on right now, but it still feels like we have this issue in how we deal with Sacred that I think we're going to need to look at from Guitaro really for answers here. He's probably going to go for the Silver Edge after he gets up that Deso, and Guitaro is extremely farmed. He is just doing whatever he wants really on his own side of the map. There isn't a expedition yet from Thunder Awaken to take away his jungle, but it's also where you do have this Spearhead and Sacred who is constantly pushing around, and as long as they are kind of juking out with the Tiny, Thunder Awaken are very pleased to take this game late. We already spoke before about how they are going to have really the advantage in that field, not to mention Lava are the ones under pressure here. They're the ones that need to make these plays. They're the ones that need to use their ultimates really off cooldown, where Thunder Awaken are much less bound. They are constantly able to fight if they really have the items and the timings to do so. And again, they found the cut tree.
There's going to be the kisses coming out, the ignite coming into play as well. They'd rather take Katyu out first. They will be able to do so, but now they still have the damage to get the kill on the Kim. Didn't really have to sacrifice much to go after that as Guitaro, hold on a second, trying to get away from Sacred. If that chakram is maybe a little bit more on the mark, maybe they continue the chase, but as it stands, another couple of pickoffs. You take down those supports, and Thunder Awaken now just gonna, remove some of this vision. Panda trying to reestablish that control here for whenever the Tiny sort of rotates back up. But because to this point, well, he can go back up there really at his leisure. He has not been pressured up all that much, really since the end of that initial laning stage, and well, this is going to be a problem for them. You see that Tiny building up. He's got the Echo. He's building his way into presumably the Shadowblade Silver Edge sort of combo there. So we talked about maybe Guitaro trying to do something similar on the other side. But if you have competing Silver Edges, then it really is going to come down to which team gets the better jump.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's where you almost have to give the advantage over to Picans, because the Tiny inherently doesn't need to build an armor item, where at the same time, Guitaro is constantly going to be under a lot more threat, maybe once he gets the AC, but we are talking about thousands and thousands of gold here to even up a matchup, and I think that's where you don't even want to be thinking about that right now if you're Lava. If you're Lava, you want a nice pick, you want to find a hero into the Roshan, you want to probably get an Aegis, a second Aegis onto Guitaro. With this Deso, you can certainly start the Rosh if you really want to force that fight, but that's also where Pekan is.
Oh, this would be big.
He finds Leo. Is this just a straight up kill? Man.
And that is why the Tiny is so damn popular. Able to just pop Leo style there, hits him with the tip on the back end as well, because, yeah, why not? Get in your opponent's head if you can. As Panda gonna get taken down in the middle lane, Guitaro's able to kind of make a counter play there, but Panda for Leo style, definitely a trait Thunder Awaken gonna like, and now Sacred, look at him. He's just gonna charge forward. He does not care. He may not be unkillable, but he is unbelievably hard to deal with, and they just can't do it. They have to fall back. Kim, though, not gonna be able to escape. Matthew locks him down. Sacred flies in for the kill there with the chain, and yeah, now Lava, you have to be careful. You are starting to lose some ground as Picas just makes the same play. On to Katyu this time, gets himself another freebie, and they're going to try and turn this into a push mid. Creep wave is not the healthiest in the world, but they could still try to force it, but it looks like instead they're just going to back off. They're going to try and farm up. Don't want to overextend at this point.
Yeah, really, I think for Lava, and their scores, at least on the cores, are much better than they were in the previous game. They're not really getting picked off nearly as much, but it's where I do have this great concern of the puck. Leoston, he's gone for the Witchblade. He's looking for the fight, I just don't know if Thunder Awaken is going to give it to him. And without him finding those engagements, well, it's where you would have rather wanted the Boots of Travel. It's where you would have rather wanted a Yule Scepter or Blink Dagger. And I just hope that he's going to find that engagement. They're looking again, and Dark Mago is certainly here, but it's where he's just a
Ooh.
little bit too quick with the Remnant. Even throws out another one mid-Remnant to bait his teammates, or rather his opponents out. And well, now you need to find a way onto this mid tower, and they've certainly placed the vision they need to find the engagement, but it's where as soon as Sacred shows up, there's just no play to be made. It's why they're going for the split push. I mean, Leo Style's in between the tier 2s right now, just because there really isn't an opportunity for them to hit this building, because surely Kataro isn't able to walk up. That's why he's going for the Blink Dagger, and he's going to have it in a sec here, but it's just Thunder Awaken not really showing any holes.
And this is where things get a little bit interesting, though. Lava have the high ground here, whereas Thunder Awaken are starting to, push their way down the middle lane. They do make the jump on the arena, though, but the spear actually doesn't connect. They do at least have the Dream Coil, but this isn't really going to be enough. Kaz comes in, Avatos onto Leo Style, takes out that puck right away. Kim will fall, and out to the north, you got Frank and Katyu both on the run. It appears they're going to be able to get away for now, but only because their carry is actually being targeted elsewhere. Kataro gets taken down, the toss, going to throw him back up in the air once he respawns with that reincarnation, and this is just not going to work. He's trying to get away, but Kaz runs him down, and Frank should be suffering the same fate. Sacred's just able to run after him for the kill. Full 5-man wipe, and Matthew, the only one to fall in that Thunder Awaken side.
Yeah, and that is a brutal timing for Lava. He's finishing the Blink Dagger mid on the Wraith King. I think they start that fight with him maybe 10, 15 seconds out. He gets his Blink Dagger delivered in the middle of the engagement, and then, well, unfortunately, you don't have damage in your coil. You don't have that much damage in your arena. The Monkey King doesn't even have his ulti yet, so we don't see that Wukong's channeled out on top of him. Everyone is just so level starved, and I think it's a problem we see a lot of teams have to deal with whenever they do have the playmakers like the Puck and the Mars. If you're not finding those kills, then the rest of your lineup starts to grind to a halt, and I feel like that's exactly what's happened with the Lava supports. They just have gotten picked off, shoved to the side, and they don't get those fights because they're a lot of the times just dead or scattered, and it's where Thunder Awaken, being the last team to successfully take a team fight, everyone is just looking a lot brighter on their side, especially the Snapfire, who is just very farmed. Matthews just finds his way. He always finds his farm, but it's just very hard now for Lava. And okay, maybe they get a pick off here. He does have the Yules, though, so he's going to make him work for
Reinforcements
it.
are coming. Panda's in. Sacred's looking for his moment as well. They'll at least take Matthew down first, but they need to be aware that the second round is coming. Nice split for them, though. 4 heroes go in 4 different directions, so if you're Thunder Awaken, you got to choose. Sacred is going to try to get onto Frank. He's going to get hit by the spear, though. That'll slow that up. Meanwhile, in the river, Leo Style trying to jump away. They're going to go for the toss, though. Kaz doesn't want to go any further because they knew Kataro was coming, so it's a good play from the Wraith King to cover his teammates. It's just he's not going to get the jump onto anyone, whereas up top, Frank, yeah, he did eventually get run down. Sacred was just saying, you guys do whatever you want. I am getting this kill. And he is able to pick it off, and now, well, Kaz is on the hunt. He really would love something here, as Katyu is just trying to TP away in the tree line, and he will just barely get out. So it's only the Mars that gets lost there in exchange for Matthew, but once again, not a great trade for the Lava side.
No, it's something, though. It's them playing on their vision, and of course they needed to play on their vision a little bit there, but, well, Hikaru might just lose his first life mid. The Sacred is ready to take it away from him.
Look at Dark Mago just sort of waiting on the back line. He does get rooted up there, and now that's the false promise coming out. They would really rather not use that reincarnation right now, and there's going to be a Wukong's command coming out. Sacred, though, actually just chained all the way through it, and that would have been a bit of an overstep. He is going to be taken down. The problem is the rest of the team is now going to come in here. Frank throws down the arena defensively, but it's not going to do him a whole lot of good. And, well, I say that, but he is getting away under the power of the pig pole, so it looks like he's going to be okay for the time being, but can Thunder Awaken find anyone else? Right now, it looks like the answer, is no, as Leo Style. That's an orb I did not think he would jump to, but he is going to be okay, and, well, Lava do finally take a pretty solid fight. Sacred kind of hands it to them with the overextension, but a reincarnation in Katyu for the Timbersaw and his kill streak.
Yeah, it's 800 gold. It's very nice for them. They do still have to be very cautious, especially about this Tiny, and Pikaz is going to continue to be very annoying, especially once he gets his Blink Dagger. I think that's really where Lava did a very good job. They had the sentries down. They weren't getting lazy with their support play. They're really baiting Kitaru mid, if anything, and They do lose the reincarnation and the false promise, but that's where I don't think we're gonna see necessarily that
Oh no,
revenge
Leo
play coming
style.
out. But because, well,
There's just nothing he can do. He's not durable enough. He went for the blink dagger, so it's cool for movement, but no stats to keep him alive. And I mean, Picasso is just going to keep doing that. Every opportunity he gets, he is going to take a free and easy kill onto that puck.
yeah, and well, Tiny versus Puck, it's painful for this exact reason. And now that they're on to Roche, well, what do? You have the blink on Kitaro. You could maybe look for another scrappy fight. He doesn't have anything after the blink, which is probably the bigger problem. And more importantly, without the puck, there's just absolutely no way they go for this. And does Picasso take it? Okay, just make the Tiny an even bigger monster. At the very least, maybe they look for Dark Mago now instead, and if they can burst that Ember Spirit, it'd be absolutely massive, but the problem is they need to find him in a chain. They need to get him together, and then maybe we can see the kill. And wait, oh, Moose. I don't think either side really knows what happened there. Yeah, you flamethrower the trees. The trees do die eventually, but again, the cut.
He again. Oh no, he just can't catch a break now, and at this point he's stuck. That TP, there's no way. There's just no way. The Yules comes in to cancel it. And if you're the Monkey King, I mean, what do you do, right? If you tree dance while your tree is on fire, they're going to see you move. If you wait, the tree will get burned down eventually. So he was just really going to get spotted no matter what. It's unfortunate for him. And now, even more unfortunate is that Thunder Awaken just take an easy tier 2 tower. And now Katyu, yeah, he's not going to get away. His TP's canceled mid. He does not want to have to ult himself here. And he might just eat the death to avoid using it. Yeah.
Yeah, 30 seconds
Guitar?
is a much shorter timer, but yeah, Guitaro, and he's got the chakram down to stop the blink. Oh boy.
Just can't get out of their own way here. Lava cannot afford to lose their heroes that split up. One death in each lane, and that's really just going to stagger them pretty hard. And now Leo Style, well, right on cue, might be walking into some trouble. Panda's going to get eyes on him. Can start it off with the easy stun. They need a follow-up here. Matthew comes in looking for the Yules. Can he time out the cookie? Not quite. Very nicely done by the puck. Now he's going to be able to blink away. Jumps to the orb. Throws down the coil even to make sure he's getting out. So at least he won't die, but that's a lot that the puck had to use. Now your Dream Coil's not available for any sort of offensive play.
Yeah, and at the same time, Picasso just finished up the blink dagger. I think he's waiting to reveal it right now. Have to be very careful. Yeah, they can't even afford to really walk too far forward here. Leostar is at least able to nuke out half of the creep waves, but it's where, is it time for them to poke the high ground? They could look for the glyph right now. Sacred has to be very careful here, but that's the beauty of Timbersaw. You've got 24 stacks, you're just tanking towers like there's no tomorrow, and unless you find him with that initial burst, Picasso can surely do this. I think it's that two-man. They get the glyph, now they can fix their waves, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Just textbook Dota from Thunder Awaken.
Playing this so well right now, building up that lead, not really giving their opponents any big opportunities. So this is going to be the issue. If Thunder Awaken don't overextend, if they don't make a mistake, you look at the Lava side, who can reliably sort of make the initiation? You do have Leo Style on the puck, you do have Frank with the Blink Dagger, but is that going to be enough? Because you see right now, they're trying to make a play on a Sacred. They just can't kill him. Frank is still pushing in, though. Gets a stun onto Panda. That's nice, but they're losing too much on the other side of it. As Katyu did get taken down, and now your Wraith King had to basically TP out under the False Promise, so he's not here, and Thunder Awaken will just clean it up, sacrifice the support for a teamfight win, and now they're right back onto the high ground.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate situation where they make the other textbook Dota play, Lava smoke out to find their opponents trying to fix their waves, and then Thunder Awaken say, no, we're not going to fix our waves, it's just a bait. And then now is the game just over? There's no way, I think, or rather no easy way for them to find
Kitaro
this
has
victory.
no TP.
And yeah, this is actually quite
Leo
a big
Style.
problem here. And
Okay, he's
okay,
back.
they do reset. They do maybe decide to get the mid-racks into the tier 4s, but knowing your opponents don't have glyph is a huge advantage that they can surely push here. And now their spells are getting a little bit staggered here. They're just kind of going for it, and that's a free pick. Guitar does get the snap, but I'm still a little bit scared here.
Oh, Gauze, big avalanche into the toss. Leo Style taking down. Kitaro dropping low. He does still have that ult, so he's coming back, but coming back to how much support? They are going to be losing some heroes here as Leo. Well, he'll buy back. The problem is he already used his ult. There's no Dream Coil for this engagement. They're trying to get onto Sacred, but they're not going to be able to do it now because right back onto the puck. Takes him down a second time. And now it really doesn't look like Lava have enough to hold the line here. Kitaro needs to go in, but without his ult, he's not going to feel comfortable. But Okay, Katyu respawns. The problem is he respawns, or buys back rather, excuse me, without his ult, so they still don't have a solution to the issue of this Tiny. And because, look at him go. Pushing in, bought himself a
Oh.
BKB. Oh boy, style points for the Tiny, and now they're just going to close this one out. No GG needed, they'll just take the Ancient. Lava, well, I think they did a little bit better this time around compared to Game 1, but a little bit better against a squad like Thunder Awaken is still not even close to enough.
Yeah, and well, with Thunder Awaken, we still don't even get to break the 30-minute mark. Man, this team just never stops. They just always get kind of what they want here. I think the one unacceptable thing coming in from Lava here is just the draft is really just not enough, I think, to deal with what Thunder Awaken are able to put down here. They get the Tiny, they get the Timbersaw, they get their Ember Spirit Snapfire opening, and this is the problem that you are going to fall into when you're going up versus Thunder Awaken, probably in the grand finals, is just they have this history now. They pick the Snapfire, they pick the Ember Spirit. Uh, After 16 games, now they're going to switch it up. Now they're going to say, okay, wait, we could just put Dark Mega mid and he's going to do a great job and we can still look for our offlaner here. I do think this is a special situation because they have the Timbersaw still available to them. That's unreal to me. I think the nail in the coffin was the Tiny. The matchup versus the Puck is just not too good for Leo style. He just gets popped whenever he goes for that split push. They weren't able to get, I want to say, an even fight going, and they had more going for them in this game. They had way more active heroes, but I think that's where giving Thunder Awaken that much to play around with, it's just way too much for them to deal with. And I think that's where Lava in the draft surely falls short.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to have to harp on it a little bit there because that is one of the most important aspects to this. That draft, we've already seen just how strong Thunder Awaken has been in terms of their play. You need to be forcing them to make tough decisions, force them to choose between bad options. Instead, everybody got what they wanted, right? You've got Bakaz on a Tiny, you've got Sacred on his Timbersaw, Dark Mago gets to play the Ember, even the supports, right? Snap and Ogre, two of the more comfortable heroes that Matthew and Panda were going to be able to pick up. So there's just no pressure in the draft, and that makes it infinitely harder to then put pressure on the actual heroes in the game once you get started.
Yeah, and really, I'm digging back in the draft thinking of what they banned out. They banned the Peel, they banned the Razor, they banned the TA, and I can't even think of the last time that I saw Thunder Awaken ran some of these heroes. Of course, they banned the Razor out of fear, and there's certainly that element of fear when coming up against Thunder Awaken just because they can go for the same ideas. They can go for the same strats because they're Thunder Awaken and they can kind of do whatever the hell they want at this point, but it's where the precision on those bans, it is very important. It is deciding really a lot of these matches here. I just don't know if these teams have enough time to prepare versus Thunder Awaken at this point because very drastically different drafts as well. The first game, they go for a counter pick. Second game, I don't even want to call Tiny a counter pick, but it ended up just being the best hero they could go for, and surely they're going to go for it. It's just this take no survivors mentality from Thunder Awaken where you give them a broken hero, they're going to take it and then they're going to execute on it like no other. And I think that's where Lava fell into this trap. And really, now they're not eliminated. They get to play versus the winner of our next series here. But if we do see them go for a rematch in the best of 5, they need to get, I think, a better idea of what they want to do versus Thunder Awaken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely going to have to be some adjustments, not just in terms of the play, but in terms of the draft strategy for them. So we'll see if Lava gets the chance to go for that revenge. We still have some Dota to play before we sort of circle back to them. In the meantime, though, we are going to step away just for a moment. We do have another interview here. It appears we are going to be speaking to Panda once again. So we'll be getting him in here in just a couple of minutes. So just a short break. Don't go anywhere. We will be speaking with Panda in just a minute or two. Okay, there we go. Hello again, everybody. We are here. We are ready to go with our winner's interview as we will once again be speaking with Panda of Thunder Awaken. So, excuse me. First and foremost, Panda, thanks for coming to talk to us again. A lot of the times, once people get that sort of first exposure to ETNI, they go running for the hills, but appreciate you coming back to talk a second time.
I mean, nobody wants to come. So I gonna, I don't know. I need to thank it for my team.
Well, we appreciate you making the sacrifice. But yeah, we'll maybe keep this one a little bit shorter since we did just talk to you the other day. But first of all, congrats on the victory, guys! Getting yourself to the grand final, just looking pretty dominant right now.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm gonna come out and sort of ask this one because ET and I are sort of talking about it a lot in the post game and just between ourselves in between matches. At this point, it just kind of seems like the only way that you guys lose games is when you almost sort of beat yourself to a certain extent uh, with a mistake or a draft strategy or something. Is that the feeling that you guys are starting to get now, that really these teams aren't going to be able to get to you unless you just give them the chance to do it?
Yeah, pretty much. Unless they pull something off the hat and really outdraft us, or we outdraft ourselves. This team, I don't think this team can beat us. But the other like really good teams that are not playing this tournament, maybe we are gonna struggle with them. Yes. I mean, yeah. We we only lose if we fuck up in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it certainly seems that way. And speaking of maybe some mistakes in the draft, not from you guys, but from your opponents, ET and I were sort of sitting here scratching our heads, wondering, you guys got Timber and Tiny with your last two picks. Those are two of the most sort of banned out heroes across this event so far. Were you a little bit surprised that both of those heavy hitters were available so late?
Yeah, we were surprised we got Tiny last pick. We didn't even know it was on the pool.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I didn't make a call on it either because I was like, I didn't think Tiny was in the pool either because there's no way it should be in the pool. But hey, you guys got to pick it, so.
Yeah. Mhm.
Decent. Yeah. Um. Well, that's kind of all I had. ET, you wanna take it away at this point?
Really, the only thing I have to ask is, of course, the big change up right between you guys now and you guys in the regional finals is the addition of Sacred. Do you think that he's really just kind of gelling with the team now? Do you think that he feels a lot better? It kind of helps that I want to say his best hero is the most meta offlaner. That, of course, being his Timbersaw, because he does just kind of get to style out on you guys. But that's also where his Snapfire kind of comes out of left field. He's really the only one to play with it as confidently as he does. But do you think that's kind of the difference maker here? And like you said, maybe a lot of the teams that are still in the tournament aren't as scary, but Infamous are the one that 2-0'd you guys all the way back then. But do you think with the new squad, he's really the difference maker when it comes back to going to SA?
I mean, I think we didn't lose the regionals because we got beaten by the other teams being better. It was there were some issues on the team,
Mm,
like personal issues between some players. So I
mm.
think Cedred fixes these problems, and everything is fresh now, so we can play more relaxed and just focus about the game.
Just a complete clean slate is probably very nice for you guys because before that you guys were with each other for a very long time. It was one of those I don't want to say ancient rosters, but you definitely were solidified and not shifting players as much as a lot of the other SA teams in the region. But I guess especially coming in versus Beast Coast, you guys think gonna take some more games? Of course, you played 2-1 there, but I think you guys look absolutely fantastic right now.
Yeah, we need to wait for DPC and try to perform there too.
Fingers crossed. No Chen though.
Yeah.
No Chen.
No, no, maybe. I'm gonna
Hey,
practice
hey.
it more.
Hold on.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. There are some heroes we are not revealing yet. We're waiting for the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we have to pull them out. But I don't think so.
Mm.
But maybe.
Oh, I see. Not even at full power yet. Okay, okay. Really teasing us here. I mean, now we just need to hope that a rival emerges by the time by I guess this time tomorrow. So we'll have to see.
Maybe, yeah. I wanna play it, but my team won't let me play it.
Dude, he's saying it. He's literally. Oh my god.
Oh my
Okay, we'll
goodness.
see. We'll
We
see.
are we are waiting on it now. But Panda, don't want to keep you too long. Go celebrate, go get ready for that grand final. Congratulations again, and yeah, we'll see if we're talking to you guys again around this
Okay,
time
guys.
tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye. See you tomorrow.
100% confidence there from Panda, and well, I think confidence that is at this point warranted, I would say, right? No one's been
Yeah.
able to prove that they're really mortal outside of Hikori, who I still don't know what kind of cheat code that they managed to find, but No one else has been able to replicate it. So Thunder Awaken move into that grand final. They get to sit back now and watch the carnage unfold around them as we are going to be moving things along here to round 3 of the lower bracket. It is 4 Zoomers versus Infamous. The winner will advance to face Lava in that lower bracket final tomorrow afternoon. So we are going to be hopping out of here and getting that one ready to go and set up here. So once again, thank you to Panda for speaking with us a second time in this event, and we will be ready to go with game 1 of that second series in just a little bit. So stick around. We'll be right back.